Mehari here from Eritrea is our next rider to go, the 20-year-old from Eritrea. So top 10s this year in his national championships, 7th in the national time trial championship this season. And just missed out on a top 10 in the Africa Continental Road Race Championships this season as well. But Leonard van Etveld, we'll see in terms of our intermediate, so second at the...
I think it's actually riding similarly to yesterday, despite the small changes.
Some White Chu of Hong Kong getting their ride underway. So some good national titles throughout his career as a young rider. Back to Amanuel Mehari here from Eritrea. So, our first starter of the day was his teammate, and again, just the riders here for Team Eritrea. We're trying to build up some sponsorship for the technical nature of the kit for the Eritrean riders.
It would be. I mean, it's one of the discussions in time trialing always about the amount of technology and the cost of it. And there were people saying, well, instead of trying to drum up better kit for developing cycling nations, why don't we limit what the best cycling nations can do? But the problem with it is it's not so much the kit, it's the testing time, it's the wind tunnel time, it's the engineering. And if we said everyone's got to ride a road bike, all that would happen would be the best nations would take all their road bike equipped time trialists into the wind tunnel and spend the same time and effort perfecting positions on different bikes. So unfortunately, you kind of have to look at it through that lens now.
Leonard van Etveld in towards just under a minute down here on Carl Frederick Bevoort. So crosses the line, so 48.2 km/h average speed, 50.48, so 57.69 time he's got at the finish. So you can see here, just going to be just inside 5 minutes down on Carl Frederick Bevoort. So stops the clock there, 4:51.21, so 39.44. So averaging 3 times national time trial champion.
The travel restrictions, the under-23 riders last season and the season before lost a huge proportion of their programme because the UCI and the organisers tried very, very hard to keep the elite programmes going. But the junior and under-23 programmes were absolutely decimated. Obviously this year we've got back to having something like a normal programme, but we've still got that hangover from the last couple of years, and the opportunities missed to compete internationally and to actually for riders to show what they can do at a championships like this.
And it can almost, in essence, it could almost take some riders when you don't have that level of competition. It can take you a couple of years, can't it, to get back to where you were before?
Well, the thing is, good competition drives riders on. It's almost like a version. Remember the Isle of Man a few years ago produced a string of great riders, the kind of generation that included Mark Cavendish and not long after him Pete Kenyak and all of those people. And they racing on the island together just made each other better and better and better. And you can do a similar thing in reverse, where you race locally, you do your national championships and you keep winning, and the order stays more or less the same, and there's just not the impetus to progress. So it's important that riders get a chance to do this.
Davide Piganzoli here from Italy, 20 years old, races for the Eola Cometto team. He is the national under-23 time trial champion of Italy. Was up there in the Tour de l'Avenir this year as well. So we'll see what Piganzoli can do in this one. Amanuel Mehari of Eritrea is well into his ride. And then back to Leo Hayter in the start gate here.
They are concentrating on what they're doing more than they're doing something physical. Other riders like to sort of muck about on their phone, play a video game, jump on, do a 10-minute warm-up, bang, off they go. It is quite personal. And riders at this age group are kind of developing habits because they don't ride that many time trials for the most part, so it's a learning process as well.
And when you look at when you're sort of starting in the day as well, and when you're traveling, it can be things like your prep goes all the way right back to your breakfast and everything like that, making sure that you have all your favourite things with you. But Leo Hayter now from Great Britain gets his ride underway. Yeah, he's got his black armband on as well. Of course, today is the funeral for Queen Elizabeth II. So the British rider starting with his black armband. See what he can do in his rider. He's off to Ineos Grenadiers for a big future, you would say. Back to Mehari of Eritrea. So just finished just outside the top 10 in the African Continental Road Race. So inside the top 10 at the first intermediate time split. So just coming up towards his next split along the route. So 28.8 kilometres is the time trial.
Incredibly hard to ride and incredibly difficult to deal with. And it's time on your time trial bike, you very, very quickly learn how to do it. And I never in my life came across a time trial bike where the problem, the problem with stopping a time trial bike is usually the traction between any bike is usually between the tyre and the road, not between the brake blocks and the wheel. You can lock up the wheels on anything. On a dry road, so or even on a wet road. So I don't think it's made all that much difference. It's made the aerodynamics a bit more complicated in some respects, and it's taken the manufacturers a while to figure out how to make a disc brake time trial bike as aerodynamic as a rim brake time trial bike. They've clearly managed it now, but that did take a while. And there are still time trialists around who would rather ride a rim brake bike because they think it's more aerodynamic, and wheel changes and things, if you need them, are quicker as well.
And you can, like our Mehari here, you can tuck your back brake under your bottom bracket as well.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it may or may not be any more aerodynamic there. There's still wind down there.
But in your head, as a time trialist, you always think, we're there. It's tucked away. I don't have to think about that. Here's your hot seat. Carl Frederick Neville in the centre is your fastest rider so far, 34.5279. Lennart van Eetveld of Belgium, 57.69 seconds down, and Hannes Bilsch of Germany at 134.96. So getting a moment in that hot seat. Davide Picanzoli here, up towards the intermediate.
Power and the flexibility to deliver the power in position. That you can do that. There's also a real kind of change of gear at the top of this hill, because you then have to flick the bike right down Foothills Road and gear as well. So I think he's certainly somebody we need to keep a close eye on.
Caden Luke Hopkins of Bermuda is going to bring it home here, and he's been getting quicker and quicker out on the course. Had some success down in Spain this year as well. Did the man from Bermuda, goes into second spot with that ride. So Andre Remco unfortunately doesn't get to sit in the hot seats. We got our first three there. Back out on the road though with Leo Hayter. And the intermediate splits. So intermediate 2 to now comes in towards the finish at intermediate 2 is 23.41 quicker. So Bevel has finished just very slightly faster than the British rider, who crosses the line 15.23 seconds quicker. So just 49.9 kilometre an hour is your top 10, and there is your hot seat. So Norway, Great Britain and Germany in the hot seats with our final wave underway. And we have plenty of medal content.
Not going to get there, no.
200 metres to go towards the line, and the clock just runs away from Alex Seaguard. It looks like it is going to be a silver medal ride with this one. What a time trial they have given us here in the under-23 classification. But Alex Seaguard crosses the line, silver medal position, 16.34 seconds for the juniors tomorrow as well. Junior men, junior women tomorrow. I mean, if this is anything to go by that we've had so far, we know how the juniors, Garcia, Vacek and Malaysia, your top 10. I mean, looking at the time trials, and as you said, the finish of the road events as well, the road races around, looking at this so far, that